tools here that have been developed by the private sector. You know, that it seems like, you know, right now this idea of a whitelist is maybe meeting it halfway, but out. You know, the next thing. What about the next thing that someone does?
It's true. Once the Congress establishes the precedent that we have the right to put the good housekeeping seal of approval on Andrew Feinberg's website, that the precedent is set, that the House Franking Committee has the right to review and approve the content of your website and then make it an approved website that we can post on. The precedent set that allows them to go in and frankly, gives them the ability to regulate the content or attempt to regulate the content of anybody's website. I mean, they'll literally be able to, Andrew, if this rule goes through, you will not be permitted to do this interview.
Even as a member, even
No.
as a member of the press?
Unless your website has been certified by House Franking. Now, that's a great question, frankly, and one that I'm going to use today. You just put the thought in my mind.
Because
what is different about this in the New York Times?
Right, because I mean, I'll you know,
your press credentials.
Right here. I got.
People see this, so they can see. Now, Andrew's got full press credentials. So why is your interview with me on live streaming internet video any different than an interview I would do with the New York Times in a printed newspaper?
Right, and so
if
this appears on the website of my publisher, of my employer.
Bingo.
Right. Wouldn't that be prior restraint?
That's the word I've been looking for, Andrew. Thank you. Absolutely is prior restraint. Absolutely prior restraint. Why wouldn't House Franking have the right to go in and certify the New York Times or the Washington Post or the Houston Chronicle and say that I can only be interviewed by a newspaper that's been approved by House Franking? I mean, this leads to all kinds of dangerous and destructive precedents for the Congress, which cannot, under the First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, abridging the free exercise thereof, or infringing on the freedom of the press or freedom of speech.
And that applies to you
me.
too.
That's right. Me
You're
too.
not only representative, but is there any case law, any precedent saying that a member of Congress has any fewer, with the campaign exclusion aside?
Right. Those have been upheld.
Those have been upheld. Anything else?
No. Reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions have typically been upheld by the Supreme Court on the exercise of free speech. And reasonable time, place, and manner meaning, of course, the ones that are obvious that we talked about earlier. I can't use my office to either enrich myself, to go into business with somebody. Congressman John Culberson on the masthead of an insurance company, for example. I can't use my official resources to help promote my election campaign. That's obvious. Those are common sense, obvious exceptions. Andrew? No, there's no way they can regulate or stop me. And this is going to be interesting. I'm going to take this a step at a time. And I think that my goal today, Andrew, is, and it is now about 5 minutes to 3 o'clock on Wednesday, we're going to go vote shortly. My goal is to solve this problem today and get the Democrats to talk them off the ledge so that they withdraw or modify this rule to allow us to freely blog, post on Twitter, to freely use QIK and any other website we choose to. If I can solve this today or maybe tomorrow, then we will have a major infringement on free speech without any newspaper stories, without any television coverage, without any letters.
We did have a story in the Washington Internet Daily this morning.
You did? Internet Daily on a printed newspaper?
Yep.
But essentially what's really going on is this is all being done in the fifth estate. Somebody just asked me on Twitter, is Twitter the fifth estate? Yeah, in a real sense, this is the Internet and social media are the fifth estate, and we, the people, are far more powerful using the Internet than the fourth, third, second, or first estate ever dreamed of being, because it's a truly distributed network, Andrew. The way to think about it, and the analogy I would draw, is with a brilliant scientist in my district named Rick Smalley, who recently passed away, whose genius was in carbon nanotubes. Stay with me for a second. The analogy is, he points out, we can make America energy independent with a distributed network of people in their homes with a device the size of a washing machine, storing electricity off the grid, and then choosing, free choice, when to buy and when to use it to run their home. Yeah, it's essentially a device that would store electricity in your home, and you would be in charge of when and where to buy the electricity and when and where to use it. It's a truly distributed network, and you solve the problem of energy independence. By analogy, therefore, we the people using the internet, we've distributed the power of giving this information to people directly in real time from me as their representative. We've essentially, it's a distributed network that is incredibly powerful because you've just handed a weapon, a tool to everyone out there that they can now keep up with what Congress is doing and respond. This is essentially what the Democrats are proposing is the fairness doctrine for the internet. And it ain't going to work.
Didn't work. It's been gone, and it's not going to come back. Well, Congressman Culberson, thank you for taking the time.
You bet.
And let's keep everyone posted on this issue.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
I'll go post this on Twitter right now. We can go tell them where to go find. Andrew, tell us where to find your.
It's QIK.com/AGFHome, and I'm with Washington Internet Daily, and this has been with Congressman John Culberson, Republican of Texas.